So, as I was saying, hush. Oh, wow, look, that's so effective. Okay, so as I was saying, there's absolutely going to be a question like this with a part A, a part B, and a part C. It's very similar to this on your test, quiz, quest, whatever it is I decide to give you next week on Wednesday. So let's see how we're going to go about doing this. We're going to use our diagram to the right. It's saying we have a triangle. It's listing our vertices A, B, and C. Now, we want to find an equation of the median to AB. Now, remember, we need to think, what is the definition of a median? A median must start from where? A vertex. So if I'm drawing a median to AB, where must it start from?
A vertex.
No, so it's a median to AB, so it must start from
C.
C. It must start from C. So we're going to draw in our median. Now, a median has to start at a vertex, and then it goes to the opposite side and does what? It bisects. It splits it into two equal parts. Do we agree?
Yes.
So what point do you think it's connecting to on segment AB? What point do you think a median must connect to if it's splitting that segment into two equal parts? Michael? The midpoint. This has to be the midpoint. Do you think all this is important to know?
Yes.
Absolutely. It's all very important to know. Now, we're trying, I'm going to call this C to M. M is the midpoint. Now, we're trying to find the equation of the median, which is CM. What is that? What is CM? What is CM? It's a line segment. A line segment is part of a line. Yes, a line segment is part of a line. So when we're finding the equation of this segment CM, we're really finding the equation of the line that CM is contained in. Do we agree? So when I say find the equation of the median A segment AB, do we agree I need the format of y equals mx plus b? That's how my equation should look? Yeah. Now, in order for my equation to work out, I need a value for m and I need a value for b. All right, I have the coordinates for C. Do I have the coordinates for M? No, but didn't we say M has to be the midpoint of segment AB? Yes. If M is the midpoint, can't I find the coordinates of it since I know the coordinates of A and I know the coordinates of B? Yes. Yes. So let's start there. I am recording, thank you. So we're going to say M is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So we're now just finding the coordinates of the midpoint. All right, so I'm going to have negative 3 plus 9 over 2, and then comma 2 plus 4 over 2. What are the coordinates of my midpoint? Max, your hair looks good, don't worry.
3, 3.
Close. You said 3, 3. I said close. No, you're right. Sorry. All right, you're right. It is 3, 3. So we know the midpoint has the coordinate 3, 3. All right. So our focus, yes, Livy?
We have to memorize the
Formulas, yeah, you have to memorize them. It's not that many. You guys memorize so many theorems. You could memorize a couple formulas. The formulas are harder.
They don't make sense.
Why?
Theorems, like you have like
But I gave you the explanation for the formula. Like, this is the midpoint formula. Wouldn't it make sense to take the average of the x coordinates and the average of the y coordinates, and that will be your middle? Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. So now I need to find the equation of Cm. I have coordinates for C, I have coordinates for M. I need a value in y equals mx plus b for m and b. Can I find the slope of Cm since I have the coordinates of two of the points? So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to find the slope. Guys, you're going to need to pay attention, because if you're not paying attention, you're not going to know how to do this. And I just told you a question exactly like this will be on the assessment. So part A, we found the coordinates of the midpoint. Part B, we're going to find the slope of Cm. Well, don't we find slope by doing y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1? So now we're going to have 12 minus 3 over 5 minus 3. And our slope is going to be 9/2. Okay, let's keep going. So now we have a slope, so I'm going into the third phase of this problem, and I'm going to take y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to substitute in my slope. So this is y equals 9/2 x plus b. Is this good enough?
No.
No, I still need a value for b. Right, how am I going to find a value for b? Simon?
Take one of the 2 points and plug it in.
Exactly. I'm going to take one of these 2 points, and I'm going to plug it in for x and y. Because remember, m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. But don't x and y represent all the points that exist on the line?
Yes.
So I'm going to my line CM. Because I can only use those points, right? I can't use like A or B because those aren't points on CM. So I got to go to CM, and I'm choosing either 3, 3 or 5, 12. Doesn't matter which one I choose. It does not matter. Which one do you all want to choose? 3, 3. We're going to take 3, 3. I'm going to plug in for X and Y, and then what am I going to do? Solve for B. That's the plan. So I'm going to have y is equal to 9, oops, not y. What are we using? 3, 3. 3 is equal to 9 over 2 times 3 plus b. So what did we do? Substitute in a point from CM for x and y, then solve for b. All right, we can keep going. We're going to have 3 is equal to 27 over 2 plus b. You can eliminate the denominator, or you could subtract 27 over 2. I don't care. What do you all want to do? Do you want to eliminate the denominator, or do you want to subtract 27 over 2? They're both the same. You want to subtract 27 over 2? All right, if we subtract 27 over 2, we end up with 3 minus 27 over 2 equals b. But in order to subtract these two numbers, what must I create? Sion? a common denominator. What's my common denominator? 2. 2. My common denominator is 2. So we're going to have 6 over 2. I knew what you meant. Minus 27 over 2. Oops. Equals b. So 6 minus 27, 6 over 2 minus 27 over 2. Do we agree that is a negative 21 over 2? That equals b. Now that I have a value for m and a value for b, do I have everything I would need to write an equation?
Yes.
Yeah, so our equation is going to be y equals 9 halves x minus 21 over 2.
Wait, there's, you can get
Why
rid
did we
of-
say wait?
Because over 2, oh wait, why is it over 2? Never mind.
I have no idea. You guys are both apparently thinking the same thing, but I have no idea what either of you are thinking. Why did you both say wait?
I thought that y was, so we could get rid of
Oh,
the
you
over-
thought you can subtract the 9 halves and the
Yeah.
21? Is that it?
No, we can't. We can get rid of the.
Okay. And Simon, you figured out?
I thought that we could get rid of the halves, but y isn't over halves, so I can't do that.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. All right. Are we ready for the next part of this? Can I erase what I wrote in part B? Everybody has that copied? Okay. Well, Sam, you write like extra big. Why don't you use your stylus? Oh, you are. I thought you were using your finger. Okay. I thought so too, yeah. Okay. So find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. All right, I'm gonna try to get you here. The perpendicular bisector. Does a perpendicular bisector have to come from a vertex?
Yes. Wait, no.
No. Does a median have to come from a vertex? Yes.
Yes.
Does an altitude have to come from a vertex?
Yes.
Yes. Does a perpendicular or bisector have to come from a vertex? No. If it does not have to come from a vertex, are we allowed to assume that it does?
No.
No. If it does not have to come from a vertex, we cannot just assume that it is going to come from a vertex. So now when we come up with our perpendicular bisector, it cannot be coming from a vertex. So that red line will be my perpendicular bisector. Now let's talk about this. What is the function of a perpendicular bisector? It must do two things. What are the two things it must do? Maya.
It makes the right angles and splits it into two perpendicular.
Two congruent.
Good. It makes right angles and it also splits it into two equal segments. So we were the perpendicular bisector to AB. It told us where it was going. So it's going to AB. Now, because it has to split AB into two equal parts, what point must it be hitting on AB?
Midpoint.
Can somebody who's not Simon, he's correct, can somebody who's not Simon tell me why must it hit the midpoint? Livy?
Because isn't it like a bisector and it shows those two sides are.
Yeah, because it's a bisector and for it to split it into two equal parts, the only point it can connect to has to be the midpoint, because doesn't the midpoint also split it into two equal parts? So there's no other point it could possibly be connecting to. So do you realize, and it's going to be the same thing on the assessment, do you realize that it's the same points from the top problem? Same points. They'll all have the same points. So because it's the same points, can I say, well, this will have the same midpoint, AB will have the same midpoint. Do I have to do it all over again?
No.
We don't have to do it all over again. So what were the coordinates of the midpoint? 3, 3. So I'm going to call this M again, and that was the point 3, 3, which is the midpoint. So now let's call this point up here This purple point, let's call it Q. Do I know the coordinates of Q?
No.
Is there any way to possibly figure out the coordinates of Q?
No.
There is no way to figure out the coordinates of Q. All right, so all we have to work with is M right now, the midpoint. Well, we still need the equation of QM. Do we agree QM is a segment?
Yes.
And a segment is part of a line. So what format equation do we need for this? If we're coming up with the equation of a line, shouldn't it be
Y-intercept.
y equals slope intercept, mx plus b? Okay, so here's where that day one, you guys notice that day one lesson's coming back into play today? So now AB and QM, what's their relationship, AB and QM? They are, the two lines are what to each other?
They're perpendicular.
They're perpendicular. Now, perpendicular lines have a relationship between their slopes. What is the relationship between their slopes? Julia? They are opposite reciprocals. So my starting point right here, because I'm not able to find the slope of QM. Why am I not able to find the slope of QM? Because I don't have any point coordinates for Q. But am I able to find the slope of AB?
Yeah.
Because I'm able to find the slope of AB, I can just take the opposite reciprocal, and that will be the slope of QM. So I will write this out for you. Part A, our first step here is find the slope of AB, take the opposite reciprocal, and that will be the slope of QM. So I'm going to say slope of AB is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to plug in my numbers. We're going to have, am I going too fast? Are y'all still writing? We're okay? All right, so I'm going to have 4 minus 2 over 9 minus negative 3. So the slope of AB will be 2 over 9 minus a negative. Isn't that double negative a positive? So 12. And what does 2 over 12 simplify down to? 1/6. So the slope of AB is 1/6. Therefore, the slope of QM is going to be 6. You got it.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be negative.
Oh, sorry, -6. You're right. Opposite reciprocal. That was positive. So the slope of QM is a -6.
But how do we find the...
I got you. Just wait. Let us get there. Sam?
Did you figure the last kid's test for...
I didn't grade it. But yeah, we're almost there. Okay, so now going on to B, we have part B, we have y equals -6x plus b. Is that good enough?
No.
No, I still need a value for b. So what am I going to do? Go to line QM, and what is my only option to plug in now? What was it? 3, 3. If I plug in 3 for x and 3 for y, can I solve for b? Yes. So phase 2 here, we're going to substitute the midpoint for x and y, then solve for b. So now we're going to have 3 is equal to negative 6 times 3 plus b. Oh, sorry, substitute the midpoint and slope, right? For m, x, and y. There we go. Then solve for b. So now we're going to have 3 is equal to negative 18 plus b. Can I just add that 18 over? So we're going to have 21 is equal to b. All right, what's our final equation?
Y equals -6x.
You got it. And the last part of this 3-part problem that will be worth a lot of points, by the way. This 3-part problem will be worth a lot of points. Can I go on? All right, find the equation of the altitude to segment AB. Okay, gotta go back. Go back in your brains for geometry. Altitude, tell me, does an altitude have to start at a vertex? Yes, yes. Does a bisector have to start at a vertex?
Yeah. No.
No. Do perpendicular lines have to start at a vertex? No. Do medians have to start at a vertex? Yes. Do altitudes have to start at a vertex? Yes. So when we're coming up with the equation of the altitude to AB, where am I starting this altitude from?
C.
It has to start at C if it's going to AB. Now, an altitude starts at a vertex. Does it connect to the midpoint?
No.
No, it doesn't bisect. It doesn't split it. What does an altitude do?
It forms right angles.
It forms right angles. So can I say that it connected to M, the midpoint?
No.
No. So I got to come up with a different letter.
D.
Sure. There's D. Do I know the coordinates for D?
No.
Is there any way to find the coordinates for D? No. There's no way.
No.
There's no way to find the coordinates for D. But we still need the equation of the line CD. And do we agree CD is a segment and a segment is part of a line? So I need, once again, y equals mx plus b. That's how we're going to represent the equation of CD. Now, we need, once again, a value for m and a value for b. Well, what is the relationship between CD and AB? They are what? Those two segments. They are perpendicular. What do we know about the slopes of perpendicular lines? Somebody mumbled something and I think it was right.
Opposite
Like so?
reciprocals.
It wasn't you, was it Jerry? Yeah? Opposite reciprocals. Good. Opposite reciprocals. Well, didn't we already find that? Didn't we already find the slope of AB?
Yes.
Do we need to do it again?
No.
No, we don't need to do it again. So to start off, I'm going to say the slope, slope of AB from part B was, what was it, 1/6?
Yeah.
So therefore, these 3 dots means therefore, slope of CD is the opposite reciprocal. So the slope of CD is equal to -6. Bless you. Are we still copying or could I go on to part B?
So like,
Kyle?
or on on the test, if we have a problem like this, you would have to write down the test.
No. The only reason I'm writing down all these words that I'm writing down is so when you go back, you remember what we did. You don't have to write all that down on your test. You just take the slope from above and use it. Can I go on to the next part? So for part B, we know y has to equal mx plus b. Tell me, what do you think we're going to do now?
We're gonna try to find the y-intercept.
We need to find the y-intercept. How are we going to find the y-intercept? Not Simon. Somebody else have a thought. How are we going to now find, we have the slope, how are we going to find the y-intercept? Kyle.
Substitute the points from C.
Excellent. We're going to substitute our slope and the points from C. So for part B, we're going to substitute slope and point C for x, y, for m, x, and y. Write this better. Then solve for B. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to have 12 equals -6 times 5 plus b. Everybody see where I got those numbers from? 12 equals -6 times 5 plus b?
Yes.
Yeah? All right, so we got 12 is equal to -30 plus b. So what does b equal? 42. Do we have everything we need? Yes, y equals -6x plus 42. All right, I want you to do this next problem all on your own. Part A, Part B, Part C. And I will be coming around to help you. But I think I'm done recording.